Oh, apologies. Brandon's running late. I don't know exactly where he is. I just went ahead and got started. I figure we go ahead and yeah, but he's I don't know. His lights are off. His camera's up, which is weird. But yeah, just running a couple minutes late. He is okay. What's happening here? Okay. Well, good thing he's got a safety belt on. That it's actually the noise that he makes every time he walks in a room. It's yep, yeah, it's for safety. And turn everything off. Hey, buddy, I was just letting everybody know you were running late. Thanks for scooting in.
Man, it's been a heck of a day.
Traffic bad?
Day. The traffic was a little rough on I-65. I'm just going to stick with I-65. That's exactly where I am.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Where is that? Is that in 65 runs from Indy to... Is that 65 that runs from Indy to Louisville or Cincinnati?
I think so.
Oh,
I don't know.
I got too much. I'm too safe right now. I got to take my safety belt off.
Yeah. You need to live a little bit more dangerously.
Oh man, that's my scoot. That's
it's a fine ride. I'm telling you, I want one. I need the link so I can buy one.
I think delivery may take 10 days.
Well, I'm glad there's a cooling off period in case I change my mind.
All right, you know what? I've got to apologize to you specifically, not about the firing. I mean, I feel like that was necessary. I feel like
it was necessary. Yeah.
Drove that point home.
It's not only what I said, but what I said to HR, and I deserved it. Yeah.
It's not that. I feel like I've made this show. It's like me, Marsha.
Sure.
And it needs,
which is that was your Christian name.
Yeah. Any relationship is sometimes mostly 50-50. But
sure. Let's
talk about you. What do you want to talk about today?
Well, I just wanted to say thanks for letting me log in from the break room here at Meat Hangers. It's Meat Hangers is it's the nation's only butchery themed male strip club. Mine's I have the character Beefy Boy, and I'm just on break right now. Lunch break. They give us 30 minutes. So I'm just trying to squeeze this in. Speaking of squeezing things in, I am tucked tight into this Speedo right now. It's got a little ham hock on the front of it. But I won't stand up. I won't make you guys see that. That's you got to pay for that. So,
what's your favorite song to dance to?
My favorite song to dance to. A lot of people would assume it's the Humpty Dance. Which sense. Don't get me wrong, I can shake a full honey baked ham on that one. But really, it's Man, I Feel Like a Woman by Shania Twain. That's my go-to.
I love that.
Yeah. I come out in a smile, a cowboy hat, and some boots. I kick the doors in. It's hard to get in and out of the mini skirt, but that's why we've got handlers with shoehorns and Vaseline to help pop that thing right off.
I'm kind of confused why you wouldn't just go with chaps.
Well, it's giving away too much of the goods all at once.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta. That's later. That's my late night set there in the chaps. That's that's Cactus Pete.
Cactus Pete, not to be confused with Cactus Pete. Jack. Yeah,
very different. So that's a little bit more about me. Also,
okay.
I know I mentioned it to you. Have you watched the Senate hearings on the fact that there's aliens? There's aliens. And I love the fact that this country, for years now, for like 4, maybe 6 years, everyone is like, there's like the Navy's like, here's footage of a UFO. We're not saying alien, we're just saying it's an identified flying object, but that moved weird, and and all of us are like, we've got enough to deal with right now.
Yeah.
Besides, I don't know, are the aliens going to make my debt disappear? Are they going to pay rent? No. Are they going to make inflation go down? No.
They may make you disappear, Larry.
Well, see, that's the thing. I think I'm too eager. I think if the aliens showed up and they're like, "Hey, we're bringing you up to the ship," and I would go, "Yay!" They'd be like, "Okay, that's." As I'm pulling my pants coming down, and I'm backing up. Are we doing the probe? And that's that. You know what? Leave him here. Leave him here. No, we don't want that up there.
Yeah.
Imagine the smell.
I've got to tread lightly on that subject. Contrary to popular belief, I was not the whistleblower, but I can divulge a little bit of information. You just have to look at this.
Oh no. Not again.
I know I credit all of my alien knowledge to Tommy Lee Jones, David Duchovny, and you know when all this started, the talk about aliens being real, when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. I think there's something to that.
Oh man, well,
I don't think it was a setup.
See, I think that we've had. I think the fact that Will Smith slapped Chris Rock was to distract us from the aliens.
I think he thought Chris Rock was the alien.
You know what? Chris Rock has always talked with his hands like this, so it makes sense that he's like a 3-fingered creature in gloves.
Yeah, I think he thought that Jada was actually inside of Chris, and he was trying to work him out.
Anyway, it's maybe knowing what we know about Jada. No shame. Except that there's some shame. No, I find it fascinating. I've always man. Ever since I was a little kid, I've always been fascinated with ghosts and Bigfoot and the Florida skunk ape and all. And also, I mean, you look at space and you're like, there's a lot out there. Mm-hmm. It would be pretty egotistical, which, I mean, as a race, we are one of the most egotistical things that have ever existed. But for us, what's that?
Have you ever met us?
Yeah, as humans, yeah, we're pretty self-centered. But it would be really egotistical to be like, yep, we're it. This is the pinnacle of everything, and think that there's nothing else out. No matter what your religious beliefs are, too. If you believe in an almighty being and an almighty creator, and you're like, "Dad, we're the best that he's ever done." And we're like, I doubt it. We are a rough draft at best. As a I think although a friend of mine has a theory that all alien sightings is just time travel tourism. So us from the future now have harnessed time travel and are able to come back and show ourselves that, hey, this is what we used to be like, and it's just tourism. It's like your kids really want to go to Disneyland, but you take them to Six Flags instead and show them like, well, this is what it could have been like.
I feel like we could have had a similar discussion a month or so ago. Tourism into deep, dark areas of the world that you probably shouldn't visit.
Yeah.
You know? It's all connected.
No, but I'm like,
folks, what we're trying to say is we're conspiracy theorists, and we're sucking you all in.
We wrote you in. Are you guys familiar with QAnon? We're not QAnon. We're We're R anon. Nope, that's worse. That's worse.
No,
Somehow.
try another one.
Yeah, it's TUV anon. TUV anon is what we are. We're Al-Anon. That's not right either. That's but no, like the fact though that they're sitting there on the Senate floor. Now we've seen over the past few years some crazy things being said on this during these hearings, but they're like, hey, can you tell us, is this human? And he's like, well, no, it is not human. And then within the same week we're like, hey, water on Mars, just FYI. And also we found water on the moon, or at least like something resembling water, and it's okay, great. Also, here's a fascinating theory as well. In 1978, NASA had been exploring the ocean floors, or trying to map out the ocean floors, and then in 1978,
is that where the vacuum was designed? Sorry, never just pretend that I didn't say that.
No, you're thinking Dyson. You're thinking Dyson, not NASA.
Okay, not NASA.
No. But and then immediately, for some reason in 1978, they just concentrated all efforts into getting up into space. So what did we find in the ocean that made us go, we maybe don't want to be here anymore?
Yeah, I feel like besides find that too. Not too long ago.
Billions of pounds of plastic at this point.
And a lot of sad turtles.
A lot of sad turtles. A lot of turtles on cocaine with all those straws.
Turtles all the way down, bro.
Turtles all the way down. That's a great Sturgill Simpson reference. And also John Green, and also I have a friend who she believes that the Earth is flat, sits on top of a turtle, and it's just turtles all the way down. And you know what, man? Who am I to argue?
Yeah. Everybody has opinions. Everybody has opinions.
Yeah.
You know what? Go ahead.
No, I was like, we all have opinions. Some of us are just wrong.
One thing that I did, like, I read this, doing some research on the aliens are real piece, and I did see where people in the military would, I called the guy a whistleblower, and that's kind of the term that they're giving him. I don't know. I think everybody's kind of had an understanding that there is life forms outside of the human race somewhere. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they're trying to remove the stigma. How would you feel sitting in the military in a uniform, and you're observing Space Force, Air Force, whatever it is, and all of a sudden you see something that you don't know what it is, and you're like, last guy that said something is now cleaning toilets. I think I'm probably just gonna keep this to myself. How many times do you think that's happened?
Well,
how many times do you think that's happened?
Probably a lot more than either of us would like to say. Or literally a silver ship pulls up, a guy sticks his head out the window and goes, "Hey, Dave, good to see ya," and flies off. And he's just like, "Nope, I'm going to go back to texting my girlfriend. I'm going to go back to financing this used Camaro is what I'm going to do."
I'm more of a Trans Am guy.
Yeah, right? Oh, man, who wouldn't want to... the 77. Isn't that the... Isn't that the dream for all of us?
The posi track on the two-banger 4-barrel, I think, on there.
The posi track, the double chassis on the squeaky double headers.
The sphincter well.
Ooh, you gotta get your finger back in there to really check it. You gotta hook it in, and I don't. Yeah, there you go. See, I knew you were a car guy.
Yeah. I just.
That's down there below the undercarriage. It's right below the undercarriage. But no, do you believe? I'm going to ask you: do you believe in the possibility of aliens?
Brother, the way this world is working right now, all bets are off. Anything is possible.
I always been a
like Nessie. Nessie could come out of the dark deep waters, and I think people would believe that.
They're about.
I still don't think we'll ever find Bigfoot though. He's too good.
Bigfoot travels between realms. He's impossible to find. The Sasquatch is an ethereal being that can pass between dimensions. However, they are starting a legit search for Nessie. Like, the government is putting money into it, where they are trying. Because
I just told you anything was possible.
I'm telling you, there's more things under heaven and on earth than can be possibly dreamed of in your philosophy, Horatio. That is, I've always believed. Have you ever had a spooky, like? Have you ever seen? I've never seen a spaceship. I've never seen aliens or anything like that. I've had spooky experiences though that made me go, okay, well, maybe there's some things.
I do have a distinct memory of a figure when I was driving many moons ago. I was probably 22, 23 years old, and I'm driving down Hungry Hollow Road. That's over by Danville, where I grew up. I didn't grow up in Danville, but in that area. And just driving, and I look in front of me, and something shoots across the road. And I have no idea what it was, so I defined it as a gangle. I just coined it was a gangle. Like, that's a new thing. So anytime I see a figure, maybe look like an animal, kind of like a human, a little bit bigger head, it's a gangle.
That's a gangle. Yeah,
that's where I go with it.
Yeah, the Native Americans would refer to that as a skinwalker, my friend.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. It's.
I was trying to think of.
Why do I have all this knowledge of things that probably aren't real, but I can't remember without a calendar. I can't remember any of my sister's birthdays.
That's funny. Yeah, that is crazy. I think
when I worked for
we just really changed the whole podcast into we've kind of another universe.
Ooh, into a whole other realm. I've had plenty of spooky experiences, but one of the things that I shared is when I worked for the railroad. We were out at Illiopolis, and there's an old track that used to be the main line, but now it's a storage track. It's defunct now, even. But we were pushing cars back there, and I was the brakeman. We had on that job. It's a brakeman, conductor, and engineer, and we had a student engineer as well. So there was 4 of us that night. Me and the conductor are pushing back, and we're holding up our lanterns, and so we're on the back car, and the engineer's up in the engine pushing, so they're up at the head end, and we're like, oh yeah, you got about 40 cars, and I'm looking at him like, do you see somebody on that walking back there? And JP was like, yeah, and he goes, maybe I said, maybe it's trick of the light. All right, You got about 30 cars, and we're like, nope, that's definitely a dude. That is definitely a dude. And we're like, all right, slow it down a little bit. We got about 20 cars, and we can definitely see, we're making it out, this glowing figure, great big bushy beard, wearing like the old-timey bib overalls, an old-timey hat, holding an old-timey lantern. But for a second, we were like, somebody's out here tricking us. This is some Scooby-Doo nonsense. And then we're like, hey, just slow it down. Just take it to a stop for a second, would you guys? And we're standing, and this figure is now stopped and is on the cars. So where there's like 20 cars between, like 20 car lengths, so 50 feet per car. And this figure is now staring at us as we're shining our lights at it. And we're like, hey, can you guys stick your heads out and just see if there's something back here? And they're like, what are you talking about? So the engineer gets his binoculars out, and he leans his head out, and he pulls back in, and he presses the button and goes, what the hell is that? And we went, not sure, but why don't you take us forward a little bit? And so we're pulling forward, and at this point, we're like, we're not going back there. We're not going back there. And so we ended up just, so there's a thing called kicking the cars. So you just kick however many cars we're going to, I think we're only going to set like 3. So you shouldn't do more than a handful, but we'll kick these 3 cars and make sure that they hook on the glad hands. So either bam, we heard them slam, and we jump up, and we're like, go. We're like, the brakes have got to be set. The brakes have got to be set on the rest of those cars. We're not setting more brakes. Get out of here. Yeah. And the conductor was like, he's like, dude, if anyone asks, I'll keep you out of trouble. I'll tell them it was my call, that we saw a trespasser, and we were terrified. And we all get up, like we get up on the engine, we get everything locked up, and it's just silence for like 10 minutes, right? And the engineer stands up, and he looks at all of us, and he goes, nobody saw nothing, right? Nobody saw nothing, because nobody wants to go talk to the company psychiatrist, right? And we were like, right. Correct. That is the correct answer. We do not want to do that.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's a great story. It gave me kind of goosies. You just never know.
Well, here's the thing, though. I am a natural-born smart aleck, so as we kicked the cars, and we're like, we're not setting brakes, I yelled, hey, dude, if you're still back there, can you set a couple brakes on that for us?
Oh, that's awesome.
And JP was like, you're going to make it mad.
You're going to make it mad. That's awesome. I feel like we could probably talk for hours on this subject.
Yeah,
the extraterrestrial. But we don't have hours. I mean, we do. But I think we need to.
I got to get it on stage here pretty quick. I'm not sure what our. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's announce another comic.
Meat Hankers is pretty strict on that.
Yeah. When it's your time, it's your time. You got to get up there.
Yeah.
Shake that money maker.
Absolutely.
All right, folks. Our next comic is interesting. To say the least, it kind of ties in with today's discussion.
Okay.
He's just, he's a little bit different, right? If you've seen him, you'll be like, oh yeah, I get what they're saying. He placed 4th on Last Comic Standing. He is a mainstay on numerous talk radio and TV shows.
Late night shows.
Gootfield being one. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, performing in November will be none other than Joe Machi.
Joe Machi.
Hello, everybody. I had a rough week. I went to a bar recently. A fella thought I was looking at his girlfriend. He said, well, if you do that again, I'm gonna tear you a new asshole. And there's no right answer. So I just said, well, good, then I'll have 2 assholes. And I ran as fast as I could. And people will tell you, you can't run from your problems. That's not entirely true, though. If your problem is location-based, try moving to a different location. I worry about crime a lot. I sleep with a bat under my bed in case my apartment is ever burgled. That way the robber will get a complimentary bat after he shoots me in the head with his gun. If I come out with a bat and he has a gun, all I can do at that point is say, don't shoot, it's illegal. And hope he respects that. Instead of carrying mace, I carry Axe body spray. It's cheaper, it's more effective. A guy tried to mug me and I sprayed him. He said, ew, what is that? I said, dark temptation. He said, good Lord, it's the worst thing I've ever smelled. I said, exactly, and now people are gonna think you're a douchebag. I think the reason I worry so much about crime is that I watch too many crime programs on television. You ever watch a documentary about serial killers and think to yourself, other than the murdering, I have a lot in common with this guy? He's a misunderstood genius. Then the narrator said he did a lot of weird stuff and he was by himself at home, and I'm not gonna cast the first stone on that one. After all, I just watched 5 documentaries in a row on serial killers, and now I gotta eat. Some of you thought that was inappropriate. That's okay, I'm used to it. A lot of people think I have Asperger's, and I know that because they tell me they think I have Asperger's. A friend said, Joe, it seems like you have Asperger's, as if you have no idea what's appropriate to say to other adults. I said, I don't think that's true. I know you're not supposed to tell other adults. I think you have Asperger's. But maybe he has Asperger's, and that's why he said that. I do blurt out whatever I think is best. Once a friend said, Joe, I've been married 25 years now. If only I hadn't gotten divorced. I said, of course, I'd be a great surfer if I could stand up on the board and do any of that. But you're right, if facts were different, other facts relating to the initial facts would also be different. If things aren't what they were, they would not be what they are. You win that argument every time. It's the worst when I have to call a lady on the phone asking for a date. Sometimes I get so nervous I can't remember any of my words. So I make a date script. But sometimes the lady I was talking to would say something I hadn't accounted for in my pre-planned dialogue, ruining everything. I'm like, hi, I'm Joe, how are you? She's like, I'm good, how are you? I'm like, shit. I don't have anything for that. It is just getting harder and harder to be a human. I notice people are getting more and more judgmental. I saw an actor apologize for something on the news, and my friend blurted out, he only apologized because he got caught. And I said, well, yeah, that's how apologies have always worked. If you apologize before you get caught, that's a confession. Learn your words. I do think it's getting easier to be youngster. Every time I hear the phrase, sticks and stones may break your bones, but names will never hurt you, I think it was a lot harder to be a kid when that was coined. Not only were you getting hit with sticks and stones, but you're getting made fun of so much it made sense to compare those two quite unrelated experiences. How was school today? Not good. They called me a loser, but all things being equal, it was a lot better than that time they hit me with all the stones. That's literally how they murdered hookers in the Bible. Take it down a notch, guys. We're 12. Thanks so much, everyone.
He, Joe Machi's an interesting, one of those interesting performers. He found his personality and leaned into it. He's a great joke writer. He is, again, he is who he is. He's leaned into it. It works great for him. He probably will not do it because he did it on TV, but one of my favorite jokes he's ever done is about 9/11 and the guy delivering him his pizzas for getting his breadsticks. If you've not, just look that up. It's because I won't do it justice. But yeah, old Joe Machi, and who's gonna be there with Joe that night?
Oh shoot. Larry Smith.
Yeah, that's me. It's gonna be this guy. I don't have a joke about 9/11 because I can't pull it off. This face shouldn't. Yeah, this face only talks about conspiracy theories of 9/11 and does not do jokes about it.
His delivery and his ability to talk about sensitive subjects like that are off the charts. And I think you're 100% that it has to do with his personality and leaning right into it. You know, there's a clip that we shared moments ago where he says, you know, he's getting burgled, which he used the word burgled in the first place. I'm like, this is great. Who uses the word burgled? Anyway, he's addressing the burglar, and he says, don't shoot, it's illegal. You know,
Yeah.
and just when I say it, it's like, oh yeah, that's funny. But the way that he delivers it, and it's all, I mean, it's just, I can't say enough about, I'm excited. I'm excited for November. Excited for you to feature. It's going to be 5 great shows. So just another feather in the cap, putting together a series that you want to be at.
Yep. Absolutely. It's going to be a great night. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'll actually try.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, that's it. I'm just going to actually try. For you, I'll try.
Right on. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I wanted to come back. What I want is, how'd it go? Well, Larry tried. And you'll be like, oh, I knew I could count on him to at least put in to try. He tried. And we appreciate that.
Yeah, that's kind of like working with somebody and being like, well, he's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy. He's a
nice guy.
Super nice guy.
Yeah.
That's kind of code, especially in the comedy world.
Yeah. Well, okay, Larry. Unfortunately, Joe can't be with us today on this podcast. He's got a full busy schedule and all the things that he does. So we're going to sign off for the week, and we will see you next week with another announcement. But before we go, Larry, do you have any final words? Because this is all about you.
Philippines, kumquat, what was that? What was that word that you used earlier to describe the creature?
Gangle.
That's it. Those are my final words. And if it really is, if I die when this ends, I want that on a plaque somewhere.
It'll be on your headstone for sure.
Yeah.
That's all I was going to say. Larry Smith, kumquat, Philippines, Gangle.
Yep.
In no particular order.
No. Nope, no particular order. And please put that in there in no particular order.
All right, folks, we're off the rails, but we will see you next week. See ya.
Bye.
Daddy said he's gonna wet my ass if he ever catches me smoking that grass. Oh, Lordy.